Okay, so today our topic is IAS 41 agriculture. Okay, and today's video I intended to discuss the history of International Accounting Standard 41 as well as the scope and the summary of IAS 41 agriculture. In April 2001, the International Accounting Standard Board adopted IAS 41 agriculture, which had originally been issued by the International Accounting Standards Committee in February 2001. In December 2003, the board issued a revised IAS 41 as part of its initial agenda of technical projects. In June 2014, the board amended the scope of IAS 416 property, plant and equipment to include barrier plants related to agricultural activities. Barrier plants related to agricultural activities were previously within the scope of IAS 41. However, IAS 41 applies to the product produce growing on those barrier plants. Okay, a little bit summary of IAS 41. IAS 41 prescribes the accounting treatment, financial statement presentation, and disclosure related to agricultural activities. Agricultural activities is the management of the biological transformation of biological assets, living animals or plant, and harvest of biological assets for sale or for conversion into agricultural produce or into additional biological assets. Okay, I will explain all the words like biological, what is biological assets, okay, and then when it is harvesting and convert into biological produce, so what is the difference between biological produce, biological assets, and uh, more of what is the management of biological assets. I will discuss in this video with detail, but first let me read it and you should know it at the end of this video. IAS 41 established the accounting treatment for biological assets during their growth, degeneration, production and procreation, and for the initial measurement of agricultural produce at the point of harvest. It does not deal with processing of agricultural produce after harvest. For example, IAS 41 contains the following accounting treatments. Barrier plants are accounted for using IAS 16. Other biological assets are measured at fair value less cost to sell. Agriculture produce at the point of harvest is also measured at fair value less cost to sell. Changes in fair value of biological assets are included in profit or loss, and biological assets attached to land, for example trees to plantation forest, are measured separately from land. Okay, so what is mean by biological assets? First of all, you have to we are learning accounting for animals and plant. Yeah, of course, obviously, in agriculture what we study, animals and plants, living animals and plants. Okay, after, when you can we can interpret the word agriculture that we are studying, counting for animals and plants. Three words used and this standard, which is very important: biological assets, agricultural produce, and inventory. What is biological assets? I'm giving you one example: cow. Cow is a biological asset. Cow is a biological asset. Plant is a biological asset. But the milk inside the cow is agricultural produce. Plant is a biological asset, but the fruit which is hanging down from the plant is biological produce. When we harvest the plant fruit, or we uh, feed the cow, then that is becoming IS2 inventory. Okay, I'm giving you another example. IS 41 always apply to biological assets, and the condition it is applying to agricultural produce until it is attached to biological asset. The agriculture produce like fruits and milk, it will be applied, IS 41 will be applied to those agriculture produce which is attached to agriculture assets, biological assets. When it will be detached from biological assets, so IS 41 will not be applied anymore to those biological produce. which is detached from biological assets. When it is detached from biological assets, the agriculture produce which is detached from biological assets will become inventory, and it will be deal which we have discussed in IAS 2 inventory. Okay. Scope of IAS 41. IAS 41, these are the principles of IAS 41 that we can use, we can interpret, we can recognize that to that biological assets, how we can interpret, how we can understand that how to use IAS 41 to those biological produce for sale purpose. F, F and only if agriculture assets are managed for reselling purpose, like for cultivation, we cultivate plants and then we harvest, then we sell. So IAS 41 will be used. And to agriculture purchase, for example, fish farming. We do fish farming inside the sea, in the deep sea, and then we bring it to the bring it to the our warehouses where we farm it, where we have pose for it, and we keep all fish inside that and produce for breeding purpose, for reselling purpose. We want to increase their generations, their types, okay, and to additional biological assets. So for these three purposes, if we keep biological assets, then it will be the IAS 41 will be applied to these three conditions. Other than that, a lot of people keep dogs, feed dogs in their homes for safety purposes or for other purposes. So this is not gonna be uh, included in IAS 41. Our other examples are also present, in which, for example, you go inside the sea and kill fishes. You kill fishes and put that in a bucket for eating purpose. The non-living fish is not accounted in IAS 41. So this is all about the IAS 41, and I hope you have understood all the discussion. It's not a great, it's not so difficult. It's very simple. You have to know biological assets, agriculture produce, and these are just discussed with detail. Establishes the accounting treatment for biological assets. Biological assets discussed with detail during their growth, degeneration, production, and procreation. Also, for initial measurement of agriculture produce at the point of harvest. It does not deal with the process of agriculture produce after harvest. As I told you, when it is killed or it is harvest, so it will not anymore apply. IAS 41 will not anymore apply. For example, processing grapes into wine or wool into yarn. IAS 41 contains the following accounting requirements. As I read before, and you can read this from here, and you will understand easily from my discussion. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.